That's right. You heard it here first. Drake May and the New England Patriots head to the Super Bowl. What is good, y'all? It's your boy Anthony Greenfield. We are back for another episode of Ant-Archy. Listen, for all you haters out there, for all you haters saying that, oh my God, you guys beat the Chargers, they were injured. You beat up CJ Stroud with no O-line. You beat the Bo Nixless Broncos. Guess what? I don't care. They're still NFL teams. We beat 3 of the top 5 defenses in the NFL, and you want to say something to me? But your team is not in the Super Bowl. So Cowboys, Commanders, Giants, Eagles fans, shut up. I'll give y'all maybe another 30 years, whatever y'all want to do with it. But that's actually why I'm not here to gloat about my team's success. I am actually here to hear about the cries, the disparities, and the tears of Steelers fans. You heard it here, right? I have 2 wacky characters with me today, and they're going to tell me about the new hiring of their new head coach. So let's bring them on right now. My man Cole and my man Brian. Let's bring them on here together. And I have one thing to say. Well, Brian's not here, but I want to say one thing to you, Cole. How are you doing, man? What's going on? How you doing?
I mean, nothing changed. I mean, they hired Mike McCarthy. He's Mike Tomlin 2.0. I mean, here's both their records. Tomlin has more wins than McCarthy, but Mike McCarthy 174, 112-2. With a playoff record of 11-11 and won a Super Bowl, beat Mike Tomlin in the Super Bowl. Mike Tomlin, regular season record 193, 114-2. Playoff record of 8-12. So Tomlin does actually have a losing season. It's called the playoffs, which actually matters. I don't care about never had a losing season. The whole argument, I think it's a stupid argument. I think it's a terrible argument. I don't care about that because every time they've gotten to the postseason, they have not won a playoff game since 2017. It was time things had to change, but the reality is nothing actually changed. They basically got the same coach, but he's offensive. I think their offense will get better out of this because McCarthy is an offensive mind, but I truly don't see anything changing. I think you're still going to get the same old thing, the mushy middle, right in the middle, 9-8, 10-7. They'll go to the first round of the playoffs and they'll lose. I mean, Art Rooney clearly doesn't see anything wrong with the Steelers. He thinks that they're competing. I would disagree because when they get to the playoffs, I mean, they got smoked against Texas. They gave up like 400 yards of offense. The Steelers defense did. So, nothing actually changed. Just same old stuff.
So here's my thing with that Steelers game, that Steelers wildcard game with the Texans. That game, to me, was a stalemate until it reached like 5 minutes left in the third quarter. That's when the Texans defense turned it up.
Yeah.
And they should have turned it up from the get-go. It's the playoffs. Why wouldn't you start all out from the jump? Why do you have to warm up a little bit? You know what I'm saying? So I say I would blame that loss on your O-line. I don't know what your O-line had to do with Mike Tomlin, but your O-line was the reason you guys lost that badly. Because how many QB hits did Aaron Rodgers have just from the start of 5 minutes in the third quarter to the end of the game? Because the Texans scored 3 touchdowns from that point. And I don't think any of them were offensive touchdowns. They're all like fumble recoveries, pick sixes. What are we doing? Why are we blaming Mike Tomlin for a defensive problem or an offensive problem? I mean, I get it. You get an offensive coach. Cool, I get you. But if history repeats itself when you guys had, correct me if I'm wrong, Cole, if you guys had Arthur Smith at OC, who's your OC now?
We don't have an offensive coordinator. The offensive Arthur Smith is now the offensive coordinator at Ohio State.
Man, I don't like that. I don't. But that's here nor there. So, Cole, tell me something. So, since you think that Mike McCarthy and Mike Tomlin are the same person, so do you think the front office is going to change if they're the same person? or do you think he's going to keep Aaron Rodgers and build around him? Because mind you, Rodgers is like in his mid 40s. So are you really going to believe in Aaron Rodgers one more season?
No, I don't. Personally, I saw nothing different between Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson from last year. It is the same stuff. It's the same thing. Like Rodgers, yeah, he played a couple of good games, and then he also played some very bad games. I mean, the game I'm really referring to was the game against the Chargers. He was terrible. I mean, he played horrible against the Chargers. So I just I wouldn't bring him back. Absolutely not. I wouldn't bring him back. I roll with Will Howard. I don't know if he's the answer. I mean, personally, in my opinion, I don't think Will Howard's the answer. I don't think that our franchise quarterback is currently on the roster right now.
Okay.
But I want to roll with Will Howard because I just want to see what he can do. Like, just let's see what he can do. I mean, he won a national championship at Ohio State. He was great at Ohio State. But I want to see what he can do. I mean, McCarthy likes Will Howard. Said that yesterday in the press conference that he was impressed with Will Howard. So we'll see. But Rodgers, I mean, they did give him an ultimatum of a month. That's what I've heard today.
Okay.
So because Rodgers also he held the Steelers hostage. Well, no, he didn't hold the Steelers hostage. I mean, he did. He did. He held the Steelers hostage for until like June of last year. Because originally it was he was going to sign the day free agency opened, and he didn't. And he just waited to make a decision. The Steelers didn't know what they were going to do at quarterback. I don't like that, and I don't think the Steelers can do that again. You give them a month to decide, and if it's a no, then you need to move on. Not just he's the guy, he's the answer. Because at the end of the day, this is what the Steelers have been doing since Ben retired. I mean, we went through Mitch Trubisky. We tried Kenny Pickett. That didn't work out very well. He was terrible.
At all.
Then we tried Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. And then we tried Aaron Rodgers. Just same old stuff. I really think that the Steelers need to take a step back to potentially take a step forward. Perfect example is the New England Patriots. Look what they did last year, 4-13. The year before they went, think of the same, 4-13.
Yep, 4-13.
How do you guys,
all in 3 head coaches, by the way.
Yeah, like think about it. It worked out well for them. It worked out well for them because they got Drake May, and I'm sure now Patriots fans they completely understand why it was necessary for them to go 4-13, and it worked out well for them. Now they're playing in the Super Bowl. The Steelers are too obsessed with 9-8 and 10-7. And how's that working out? Haven't won a playoff game since 17. And not to mention, too, when they get to the playoffs, they've been smoked. They've gotten smoked. They aren't even close to winning a playoff game. They're not close. I don't care if they're making the playoffs. They're not close to winning a playoff game. They gave up 400 yards of offense to the Texans. Someone can quote me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was like 400 yards of offense. Steelers defense is aging. I mean, TJ Watt didn't have a good year this year. I mean, hey, he still can't win a playoff game. That was a bad contract they made too with TJ, but that's a different conversation for a different day. But Steelers defense, it's an aging defense. Like they are more closer to they're going to have to rebuild this defense soon. It's the highest paid defense in the league. They still can't stop the run. That's been an issue. I mean, remember last year when we played the Ravens in the AFC wild card game? Derrick Henry ran all over the defense. Steelers do not have a good defense, in my opinion. It's an aging defense. They're not what they used to be. So, in the offense, That's still a mess. I still don't like their offensive line. But that's been a problem for years now. And the issue too has been, especially with Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin has basically had autonomy over draft choices and player personnel decisions.
Mm-hmm.
He made a lot of these decisions. He made the decision to draft Kenny Pickett. Worked out terrible for him. I think there was actually there was a stat that the last player to get a second contract from all their first round picks recently, TJ Watt. That's it. They haven't drafted well. They just haven't done a good job drafting. Took Kenny Pickett, that didn't work out well. Took Broderick Jones, that didn't work out well. I don't know if I blame that though on the Steelers because they did a terrible job developing him. They're
Mm-hmm.
moving him to right tackle when he was a left tackle because they had to keep going. They had to keep it with Dan Moore Jr. at left tackle, and he wasn't any good. So they haven't done a good job drafting. I mean, it's everything. They have not done a good job. It's the same old Steelers. I've been complaining about this, and I've made myself a broken record on your show, on Jasmine's show, how nothing actually changes. It is the same stuff year after year. They don't do anything different. I mean, especially too from an ownership. Like they have one of the lowest paid coaching staffs in the league. That is going to have to change. They're
Mm-hmm.
going to have to start spending money to get good coaches and keep them here. And they need to expand the coaching staff. Like football is not what it was 30 years ago. The game has changed. Staffs have gotten bigger, much larger than what they were before. So they have to adjust. I wanted a young mind, preferably offense. I loved Nate Shieldhouse.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Clint Kubiak. He never got an interview. I won't understand that, but now look at Clint Kubiak, offensive coordinator for the Seahawks, and he's getting ready to go play in the Super Bowl. And
He's
right now they're
trying to
my
go fight
Super
for a
Bowl pick.
ring. But let me ask you something, Cole, because based off of your response, I have a series of questions. But I'm gonna give you three of them. So the first one, if your GM's name is Art Rooney, right?
No, Art Rooney's the owner.
Oh,
The GM
okay.
is Omar Khan.
So who's your GM?
Omar Khan is the GM.
Okay. So let's say you're the GM, right? So if he's the GM and you bring in Mike McCarthy and you're working with McCarthy to rebuild this Steelers defense, to your knowledge, to the best of whoever you know is a free agent, who's leaving, who's maybe you could extend, who you can trade for, how would you rebuild this Steelers roster if you were helping Mike McCarthy?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing is corners. You're going to need a corner. I mean, we had Jalen Ramsey. He's now a safety. He can't play corner anymore. He's aging. He's old. He's 31 years old for a corner. He's like 31 years old for a corner. That's too old. So like they're going to need to get some corners. TJ Watt is aging.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they just signed him to another contract. I didn't think that was a very good signing this past offseason. I think Cam Hayward's going to retire here soon. Maybe he comes back one more year, but I mean, he's almost done. So like they have Derek Harmon. Is he going to work out? I don't know. I mean, I think the biggest issue now. I like some of their pieces though on defense. I really like Jack Sawyer. I like Nick Herbig. I mean,
Jack Sawyer is nasty. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, Alex Highsmith too. Yeah. I mean, I like some of those guys. I love Jack Sawyer. I thought that was a great pick for the Steelers. I think they got him in like the 5th round.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was a great pick. I love that. I think I think what they're really going to focus on though this offseason, they have to focus on the offense. I mean, quarterback, wide receiver. I mean, I would have traded for Rashid Shaheed at the deadline, but that or Jacoby Myers. I think those would have been two great fits. Didn't think you need some linemen still. Broderick Jones stinks.
I think that's the first thing. If you're building an offense, apart from finding a quarterback, I think the first thing you need to have set is your O line. Because us, look at the Patriots. The Patriots are like a perfect example for this. Because for the last 2 seasons, we went 4-13. We had the first time we went 4-13, we had Jacoby Brissett. Then we had a rookie Drake May. And then the year after, which is this year, now Drake May gets a way better line, gets a new head coach, gets a brand new OC, and his all line is two rookies on the left side, and the rest are veterans. So it's like your strong side. If you have a right-handed quarterback, right? I suggest that you put veterans on that right side, but then you have to put trusted rookies on his blind side. So Will Howard, right? Will Howard likes to scramble around, but he likes to boot out to his right. So if Broderick Jones moved to right tackle, but he's going to stay getting blown up. Yeah, maybe Trey Henderson if he comes back, who knows? But if Broderick Jones is going to continue to keep letting people blow by him, and Will Howard's going to roll to his right, Will Howard is going to have a short season in the NFL. He's going to have a short time in Pittsburgh. Who knows? But an O-line is where you have to start. You can't run the ball without an O-line. The quarterback can't throw without an O-line because screens and little dumps can only get you so far. At some point, those small little 1-2 little dumps, they're going to turn to pick sixes the other way. And now you got to play down 0-7, 0-14, 0-21. Listen, us Patriots fans, we've went through despair for 7 years. And to everybody else, that may not be long. But the fact that we went from Bill Belichick to Gerard Mayo, now to Mike Vrabel. And that was my other question to you. Since we had former players, usually former players from other teams, they would come back to their teams and they would take their teams pretty far, i.e. Mike Vrabel, Dan Campbell, Aaron Glenn. I want to give the Jets time for Aaron Glenn. I don't want to say he's a bust, not yet. But do you think that the Steelers should have hired a former Pittsburgh player and y'all would have did something with that?
No. Nope. You needed, I mean, I said this before, but I would have went with either Clint Kubiak, Nate Scheelhaus, Chris Shula. He's the defensive coordinator for the Rams. Mm-hmm. I would have went with a young-minded coach, someone who's young, who's a coordinator, someone who can, take that next step. I mean, you know what? If it wanted to do a retread hire, I would have even said too Kevin Stefanski. I think Kevin Stefanski's actually a really good coach. I do. I mean, he 2-time coach of the year. I mean, he beat Tomlin in a playoff game. Wasn't too long ago that happened. But I mean, I feel that the Steelers need to get out of their own ways. They need to do something different. Not doing it the same old way, the status quo. Shake it up a little bit. Like, do something a little, like, they need to do something different. That's how they can get back. But they're not, because Art Rooney has already said, the owner, that he feels that they're competing. And this is what this Mike McCarthy just feels like, a same old hire. Like, it's going to be the same stuff. I just think that now their offense is probably going to be a little bit better. Their offense will be better because Mike McCarthy is an offensive-minded coach.
So who do you think Mike McCarthy would actually pair good with to give the Steelers a fighting chance in the playoffs? I.e., Mike Vrabel went and got Josh McDaniels, and now look where the Patriots are. Dan Campbell, he went out and got Ben Johnson. That 1 year they went to the NFL divisional, but then lost to the Commanders. So now, where do you think the Steelers have to go if Mike McCarthy is your head coach for the next 3 years, let's say. I don't know the contract terms, but let's say 3 years. Who do
5
you
years.
go get at? If you said 5 years.
Yeah, they signed him to a
Okay.
5-year contract.
So, all right, so the next half decade, you have Mike McCarthy running the show. So, who do you get as supporting cast? Who would you want as your OC?
I mean, I don't know who they're going to pick as an OC. It's going to be someone that McCarthy worked with,
Mm-hmm.
probably at Dallas, maybe someone at Green Bay. It'll probably be. I mean, they hired Patrick Graham as the defensive coordinator today. I'll admit I don't know a whole lot about him. All I saw was that he was the defensive coordinator at Vegas, the Miami Dolphins, and then the New York Giants. So
Mm-hmm.
um, he's going to be the defensive coordinator. I would want someone, I mean, young and up and coming. I mean, I want Nate Shieldhouse to be the offensive coordinator. He's currently the pass game coordinator with the Rams, but that's not going to happen. He's not going to pick Nate Shieldhouse as the offensive coordinator. That would be my pick, but it's just not going to happen. It's going to be someone that uh, McCarthy got, that McCarthy has worked with in Green Bay or Dallas. So that's what it's going to be. I mean, the most important thing that the Steelers have to figure out is who's going to be the next franchise quarterback. Like that position they have to solve that. And that's obviously going to be their goal. They have to figure out who that guy is.
And if you had to choose 2 ways or 2 players that you have in your mind, who would they be for your franchise QB?
I mean, you're going to get someone in the draft. It's going to be someone in the draft. I mean, it's so tough to tell because they're not getting a franchise quarterback this year. That's not happening. I mean, Fernando Mendoza is going 1, and then Ty Simpson will probably get taken in the first round, even though I don't think he's a first-round pick. I don't think Ty Simpson's very good. But
I don't think Ty Simpson's a first round pick either. I would give him
I think he's going to get
early,
taken in the
probably mid
first
or late
round.
day 2.
I think he's going to be taken in the first round because there are quarterback needy teams. Like there's I mean, think about it 2 years ago, I would say. Like Michael Penix got taken in the first round. I don't think he was a first round quarterback. Now, Bo Nix got taken in the first round too by the Broncos. Back then, I didn't think he was a first round quarterback. Now that obviously that's been a great pick for the Broncos. I think Bo Nix is kind of like more average.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think he's up there in the Josh Allens, the Patrick Mahomes, the Joe Burrow, but I mean he's an average quarterback, and they have a great defense, so that defense can kind of carry. But I think it's going to be probably next year, somebody in the draft for the Steelers. Hopefully Arch Manning. I'm actually I wasn't very impressed with him early on in the college season, but as the season went on, I thought he got a lot better. And I can't wait. I think he'll be great in college again next year. So he made the right decision to go back to school. But I don't think the Steelers will get Arch Manning.
Which do make sense. But I actually want to add on to your point about for the quarterback. What about Miami's quarterback?
Carson Beck?
There you go.
No,
Carson Beck.
I don't want any bit of Carson Beck. I don't think he's the guy. I don't think he's very good.
Hold on. Now I'm not gonna sit here and defend Carson Beck because he did beat my Buckeyes in the Sugar Bowl. But look at Stetson Bennett. When Stetson Bennett came out of Georgia and the Rams got him, what was he, like almost 30? And I haven't seen him start or play a game since he got drafted. Maybe he did play that I didn't see, but I haven't seen him yet.
I mean, the thing about like Stetson Bennett, Carson Beck, they're not franchise quarterbacks. They're backups at best.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like truly, I don't think there's any quarterbacks worth taking this year. I mean, Fernando Mendoza is going 1. But there's there's no other quarterback worth taking this year. They're going to have to do what they did the past couple years. They're going to have to go and get a bridge quarterback guy, someone that can play for a year. I was thinking Malik Willis, or if they want to bring in a quarterback, I was going to say Malik Willis, but I think Malik Willis is going to the Dolphins. But yeah, I think the Steelers have to. They're going to bring in a bridge quarterback, and then next year they're going to have to worry about the quarterback in the draft, and whether you have to trade up for him, whatever you have to do, like you got to go get a guy.
So here's my thing. I think since Will Howard sat behind Aaron Rodgers for a whole year, why not try Will Howard? Yeah, get a bridge quarterback.
That's exactly what I said earlier too.
But then actually get a veteran to sit behind Will Howard, so when Howard gets injured, you got somebody he's not as good, but he can get you by like maybe 1 or 2 games. But if Will Howard gets blown up, goes back to the point that I made earlier, your O-line is very, very, very important. Because if you're going to rely on Will Howard to win you some games and take you to the promised lands, it's not going to happen. But your O-line needs to be at least solid. You need to hold up pass protection for a good 4 seconds. You need to move people at the line of scrimmage if you're going to have a run game with Kenneth Gainwell. And also with Will Howard running the show in Pittsburgh, if that happens, I'm not saying it will, but if that happens, DK Metcalf cannot be your only option. Now, Calvin Austin is a good one. Y'all never used Roman Wilson. I liked Roman Wilson when he came out of Michigan, but I never saw him play. So that's just my whole thing. Start Will Howard, get a veteran quarterback, sit behind him. He can teach him a few things, do a little, this and the third, but then have the right pieces around Will Howard. Don't just give up on him. Actually give him a shot and wonder why did you draft him? Because look at oh my God, what's his name? The Quinn Ewers. Look at Quinn Ewers on the Dolphins. He didn't play till like week 16, and now he was doing very well when Tua was out. He was doing great. Like he was doing amazing with the second string, third strings, fourth string practice squad players. Do that with Will Howard and see what you get. And just see what sticks to the wall. You don't have to have everything figured out with Will Howard. He's not the answer. I agree with you on that. Will Howard is not the answer. I didn't think Will Howard was the answer at Ohio State, but he proved me wrong. He won a natty. So I say build around Will Howard and see where that gets you next year. And if you like what you see, like, okay, now we can start building up more for Will Howard. Let's get him better receiver. Let's get him younger receivers. Let's get him more solid O-linemen. Let's get him like a third down back. He can just get a quick little dump off. Let's get him like a very strong running back to, he can take maybe a couple hits and take some load off of Will Howard. Actually build a foundation around your quarterback instead of just throwing him into the fire, which a lot of teams do with their starter or their backup.
Yeah, I mean, I think this offseason, I said before, I think that this offseason they're going to go get a wide receiver in the draft. That's my prediction. I think in the first round of the draft, they're going to go take a wide receiver. They have to get a wide receiver too. Have to. Mm-hmm. That is, without a doubt, that's a must. They don't have a wide receiver too. Like you saw it when DK Metcalf got injured. I have a million problems with what they did. They didn't use the tight ends. Enough this year. They got Jonnu Smith and they have Pat Freiermuth and they don't have a wide receiver too. And I don't think they use the tight ends enough. So that was a big problem I had. But they have to get a wide receiver. Have to. It's a must.
I definitely agree with you on that one, Cole. Getting a wide receiver. If you guys got a wide receiver at what pick do you guys pick? 21?
Yeah, probably somewhere around that. I could even.
If you guys got pick 21, I would honestly give you guys Denzel Boston out of Washington. Or I could give you guys Mekhi Fields out of Notre Dame. I loved his practice when I watched the Senior Bowl practice today. I want him in New England. I mean, apart from him, Elijah Sarah from Indiana and Omar Cooper from Indiana, those are the top 3 receivers I want in a Patriots uniform next season. But it's not going to happen because the main thing we need as a fan, we'll probably need another right tackle because Morgan Moses is getting up there in age. So he's probably going to call it quits soon. And we need more edge rushers because Kavon Chason and Harold Landry, those are amazing pickups, but they can only do so much. And Anthony Jennings, he's good, but he's not like set the edge good. There are some plays where he'll get blown by, he'll get blown off the line of scrimmage, or he'll just overcommit on his turn. And I had one more question for you, Cole, and then we're out of here. Let's see, it was the coaching, the players. I can't remember the third question. Oh man, now I'm having a little bit of a thump. Oh, I remember what it was now. So do you think Will Howard will be the starter day one, or do you think they'll bring in a bridge quarter? I know we talked about it earlier, but you kind of didn't go into the fine aspects of it. So do you think Will Howard will be the number 1 starter? Or if he's not, who do you believe that they'll do?
I think it's either going to be Will Howard or Aaron Rodgers. That's my prediction. I think I could see them bringing back Aaron Rodgers. I mean, McCarthy won a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers when they was in Green Bay. Obviously, that will not happen in Pittsburgh. The Steelers are not anywhere close to winning a Super Bowl. But yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers or Will Howard that's probably the best bet. I could see them bringing back Rodgers, just especially with, I mean, Rodgers loves McCarthy. I mean, but McCarthy even said it yesterday in his press conference about how much, I mean, he said he talked to Rodgers when he took the job. So yeah, I could see them bringing back Aaron Rodgers for another year. I wouldn't do it. I would completely move on. Like I said, what I would do, I'd just go roll with Will Howard for a year. And then maybe sign some backup quarterback, someone just to back him up. But yeah, that's what I would do.
And folks, you heard it here first. A lot of Steelers fans do not like this hiring of Mike McCarthy. Some of them may like it because they have Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback, but you guys need to understand, Aaron Rodgers is in his mid-40s. When Tom Brady was in his mid-40s, I think he won 1 Super Bowl, and that's it. And then after that, he just left. He called it quits. Aaron Rodgers, he's not doing that in Pittsburgh. There's a lot of open holes in Pittsburgh that they need to figure out before day one of the regular season in 2026. So, hey, producer, we're about to end this show. Let me get my close up. The same way I always end my shows. Thank you so much. So, thank you so much for watching today's episode of Ant-Archy. You guys have been great. You guys have been amazing. Also, please be ready for the Super Bowl Sunday, February 8th at 6:30. Find yourself a Super Bowl party. If not, make one, because Super Bowl parties have got to be like the number 1 sporting events that I love going to. Okay? Be sure to root for my Pats. And if you don't, you're a loser. All right? So everybody stay blessed, stay passionate, and stay positive, guys. I'll see you later. Whoop.